What's good, everybody? Here's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Guys, I want to talk about one of the better podcasts or more podcasts known, I would say, in the African American content creator space. Hotboxin with Mike Tyson. And this episode, which, Mike Tyson typically has had some controversial episodes in the past. One with Eminem. But this one was a good one because Mike Tyson sat down with another person who is also very controversial in itself, Boosie Badazz. And both of these guys are known for speaking their mind, saying things that nobody really appreciates. And so having them together in the same space definitely was going to be a great episode. The conversation turned interesting more so when Mike Tyson asked him about the recent remarks, or the remarks made about Zaya Wade, okay? I believe his name was Dwyane Wade before, but he's challenging Boosie Badazz on his commentary about the young man at the time transitioning as a 12-year-old to a girl. And you know what Boosie said, that, this is a young man. He should be able to make this decision at an age of 18, not right now, because what if he decides he wants to change, okay? He should at least make the decision. Not that Boosie had anything against homosexuals. He may have in his personal life. I'm not sure. But that wasn't his position. His position was, this is a 12-year-old young man. He is not an adult. He should make the decision as an adult. That was his argument. But Mike Tyson, who I don't know if Mike Tyson has had too much brain damage from, because either Mike Tyson is really dumb, and I love Mike Tyson, or Mike Tyson is brilliant. And I believe that Mike Tyson in this case is not as dumb or liberal as you think. I think that Mike Tyson is getting his Charlie Rose on, and Mike Tyson is hypothesizing some, really interesting things for feedback, putting his guests in an uncomfortable position to theorize. And Mike Tyson asks him, why do you say things about people who might be a homosexual? Why do you say that about them? Do you feel there's a possibility that you're homosexual and disrespecting them furthers you from being a homosexual? I'm thinking you may like homosexuals. Now, number one, this puts Boosie in a real bad situation because you can't say, what you talking about? You can't get loud with Mike Tyson because he's Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson has that fear element over Boosie. So if Boosie wants to get loud, he in the wrong place. Boosie responded, I'm as straight as an arrow. If you're straight, then why do you offend people? Which was a great question. I mean, again, and people are, I saw an article on Madame Noir that, black men like Mike Tyson need to check other black men like Boosie. No, this is not why Mike Tyson's doing this. Mike Tyson is doing this to make him hold on to his argument. Then if you are straight, why are you worried about what happens in the lives of homosexuals? Boosie answers, dating music. I really commented on the Dwyane situation because I got offended because it's a child. That's why I really got offended, If it was a Eminem and 19-year-old, 18-year-old, I probably wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have said anything. I just felt like it's a child. A child at 12 can't make that decision. That's how I feel in certain things to talk about. I felt that it's just going too far. You calling him a her, that's going too far at 12 years old. Mike Tyson then comes back and says, I agree with you 100%. Now, let me show this. Madame Noir I'll put the link in the description. Madame Noir really praised Mike Tyson for checking Boosie. But that's not the argument, okay? All Mike Tyson is doing, which shows that Mike Tyson is very gifted at what he's doing with the podcast. Okay, he's a great interviewer. Now, I don't know if the people who write for his podcast are the ones creating this content for him, but but Mike Tyson's actually a lot smarter than what people want to give him credit for. He's actually really, really, really talented at this, okay? And Mike Tyson says this: I agree with you. I agree with you, right? But check this out. Who the F am I to say anything? What I think don't mean an MNFing thing. He's also right. Boosie's opinion is worthless. And now what I want to talk about is, why are people like Mike Tyson's and Boosie's opinions worthless on the issue of a 12-year-old having the ability to change their sexuality? Why? Because I'm going to tell you why. If you do not leverage your money as a community, if you do not leverage your money in what you believe, then the people who do leverage their money and who leverage their voting powers, because obviously heterosexual people are not really so concerned about what goes on in the LGBT community. I think, like, as most heterosexual people feel to a certain degree, at least I know some people who have old school mentalities, as long as they are not bothering me, I don't care. As long as they do that over there, I'm okay. I don't care. You know, as long as it's not in my everyday life, it doesn't matter. I don't care what they do. But then the reality of it is that the people who do care about what's going on in the LGBT community, whether they're straight or not, or in the heterosexual community, when they put money and funding towards things, then they run stuff. Their voices are heard. And that's the issue that Mike Tyson may be bringing up is, well, Boosie, if you care so much about what's going on, then you haven't done anything legally or led any kind of resistance to this that happens today. All you're offering is a bullshit opinion, which is what typically happens a lot of times in black space. I talk about this all the time. You have this same ideologies in the pro-black and B1 spaces that I'm involved in. All these people who are upset about the Chinese in Africa, for an example. Why they over there? Why they doing this? And why they doing that? And why they doing this and that? And why they, and all this other garbage, right? And complaining about what's going on with other groups, what's going on with the Lebanese in Africa. But at the same time, you have put no effort, you have put no money, you have put nothing towards preventing this from happening. But yet you want somebody to respect your opinion. And then it goes back to what Mike Tyson is saying. Who are you to make such a statement when you don't have any skin in the game? You don't have any skin in the game. You don't have any skin in the game. And if you don't have any skin in the game, how can you comment on this? And this goes to check, I think, what Mike Tyson's further point is, for black people who don't like how things are, and all you want to offer as opinion, then what Mike Tyson's going to say to you, well, who are you? Who are you? Like, my opinion don't mean anything because I don't do anything to change what I want to talk about. So therefore, people are not going to listen to me. And then what happens is, if you don't have that, then it means it's worthless. And I think that what we should learn from this is that if you feel strongly about something, then you actively go out and try to stop it. You actively try to go out and try to make initiatives that create change. And I'm sorry to say, this is what the LGBT community does. They create initiatives that create change for what they're trying to get accomplished. A lot of times what we want to do in the black community is sit back and say, well, I don't like this. And the reason why I don't like this is because I like this. It ain't right. That ain't fair. But all you offering is his opinion. Same thing in the pro-black community. Well, I don't want China being over there. Why they over there? Why they? What do you have that's tangible? It's nothing, right? So who are you? Even though I agree, who am I? without any action. And that's the real take on this. That's the real breakdown on this. And guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check me out at the first comment pinned to the top, guys. Really thank you for all that you're doing. Check out the Black Men Are Perfect t-shirt brothers. Check out the Patreon. Check out the first comment at the top. You'll find all my information there. And as you know, the buffoonery always remains at an all-time high. I'm out.